I told my wife I want a divorce after she threw a box at my head and gave me a concussion. Last Tuesday, I came home from work and spent 2 hours cleaning up the house. I washed all the dishes, scrubbed down the kitchen, picked up toys in the living room, and put my daughter to bed. Then I sat down to play with my son while I finished tidying up. I went to the kitchen to throw away a diaper, and that's when my wife started screaming at me. She said I hadn't done anything since I got home. I was so confused because I'd literally been cleaning for 2 hours straight. I asked her what she was talking about and listed everything I just did. She kept yelling, so I just walked away. I started going up the stairs when something slammed into the side of my head, hard. I stumbled and grabbed the railing to keep from falling. When I turned around, I saw it was a sealed cardboard box. She had thrown it at me from like 15 feet away with full force. The thing weighed about 2 pounds. I was dazed for a second and asked her why she did that. She just kept yelling at me and didn't even ask if I was okay. I went to sit with my son because I needed to process what just happened. After about 45 minutes, my headache was getting worse and the muscles on the right side of my face felt weird. Something wasn't right. I handed my son to her and told her I had to go to the emergency room. She didn't say anything. I drove myself to the hospital and they told me I had a concussion. I spent that night in a hotel because I couldn't go back there. The headache lasted 8 days. I had all these weird symptoms like trouble thinking, sensitivity to light, and my emotions were all over the place. I missed over a week of work just lying in a dark room listening to audiobooks between naps. Here's the thing though, this wasn't the first time. Over the last 7 years, there have been 6 violent incidents. This was just the first time she used an object, and I kept thinking about how easily that box could have been something heavier, something that could have cracked my skull open. On top of the physical stuff, she's been emotionally abusing me for years. Constant insults, belittling me in front of people, threatening divorce whenever she doesn't get her way, and she has never once apologized for anything since I met her. When I finally talked to her about the concussion, you know what she said? She goes, "You know I didn't mean it. I can't aim that well." That was her response to giving me a diagnosed brain injury. Not sorry, just a joke about her bad aim. I told her I've been walking on eggshells around her for the last year and I don't see any way to fix this. I can't open up emotionally to someone who hurt me like this, ever. Her response was to schedule marriage counseling. She kept saying things like, "You have to be willing to make it work for counseling to be effective." Like somehow this was my fault for not trying hard enough. Then she started being all sweet and wanting to sit with me. When I refused, she got mad and said I wasn't trying to save our family. When I told her I felt manipulated, she accused me of wanting to destroy everything we built together. I talked to my close friends and a therapist about everything. They all said the same thing. Domestic violence rarely stops and it usually gets worse. I already know what I need to do. I'm just struggling with the idea of what this will do to my 4-year-old daughter. Yesterday, I called a lawyer who came highly recommended. She agreed to represent me and is helping me file for a protection order. My biggest concern now isn't even myself anymore. It's my kids, because if she doesn't have me as an outlet for her anger, I don't know what happens to them when I'm not there.